Okay, so what rulings, what changes, what rewards, all of this stuff has been released. So let's talk about it. So I'm gonna try and be PG in this, just so if this video does get shared around on Discord, whatever, Scopely can't take it down for saying foul language or any of that, because on the Discord you can't even say a cuss word. So to start off, Scopely's put a brand new rule set out, and a few changes to how war works to cater to this weekend. And with no feedback, no beta testing, none of this, I can only see this as a horrible idea because one, you didn't run this new set of changes purely for this weekend, which is a week and a bit away, until just now. That's obviously a red flag. Like, just putting a brand new set of rulings in seems just like a horrible idea without running it by the community weeks in advance. Also, there's no testing. All these changes require coding changes and whatnot. And considering there's still loads of bugs last war, lag, a lot of lag, not being able to see the correct defense you're hitting, and just loads of other stuff. So yeah, I can only see this as being a buggy War of Champions with lots of errors, whatnot. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But it just seems like a horrible idea with no testing as well, no blitz in sight, just test it over. It just seems like it's gonna be a buggy poop fest. So yeah, I just think it is absolutely, I think it's just ridiculous. Like, why run that when you've known from past, past things, it just goes horribly wrong without testing. It just goes horribly wrong without testing. So Scopely have also mentioned they're going to have an anti-feed policy. Now, what I mean by that is some factions in the last War of Champions were feeding each other, and it was only in the last few hours where they did this, where placements um, were being a little bit manipulated, if you will. So yeah, they put in an anti-feed policy where you can coin your first coin is free. It's 15 seconds. It's completely free. Great. Your second repair, now listen to me closely, is 30 minutes long, but if you choose to coin it, it will be 4 million or 4 billion coins. I'm not sure on the exact number, but in other words, you can't fund it. You cannot fund it. There's no chance in hell anyone's going to be able to fund that. So that's their way of stopping feeding, essentially. But here's another thing. What is actually considered as feeding? Because with this, you get one repair essentially for free, and that is it. But what if the rank 5 faction was facing the rank 50th faction, and the rank 50th faction decided to drop teams because they didn't want to waste time fighting the rank, 5 faction? Is that considered feeding? Because technically they are dropping to make the battle go on faster and move on. But by doing that, they are helping the top faction because they are also getting through matches faster. So is that considered feeding? Because I know for a fact, let's say Walker's number 1 faction at the moment faces the rank 15th faction. They're not going to bother fighting them. They're just going to drop defense and then, hey oh, move on. But is that considered feeding? Because they are dropping defense to help them go along faster. While they are helping themselves, they are also helping the other faction. And is that fair for them to drop the defense? We got to have clarification on this because is it cheating? Is it not? What's the difference? I mean, you can still feed technically. Yeah, just everyone to repair one time. Hey ho. But it does bring into question, is that feeding though? We've got to have clarification on this. We need actual clarification on what is classed as feeding and cheating and foul play. Because it seems like a red area, because in qualifiers, top factions were getting dropped to by the lower ones. So is that technically feeding? We need answers. And also they are putting this in place so you can't stall people out by coining one at a time. So let's say you're on your 5th repair, you'll coin, and then when you're low HP, someone else will coin. But hypothetically, you still can't actually stall people, and I'll explain how. So, for example, let's say, it's the last 30 minutes of war. Literally, this is going to decide placements. It's rank 5 versus 6. Rank 5 has no chance of beating 6, so how is 5 going to make it so they can't score more? Easy, right? They're going to score as much as they can, and then when they are down to like 1 or 2 people, they'll just coin one at a time, restricting the amount of targets the other team can hit, while also slowing down the war. You can still stall. And hypothetically, right? Let's say you can't kill someone, but you're 20k ahead. Are they stalling you? Because technically you're so far ahead, they can't score that much back. But you can't kill them. So is that stalling? We need clarification on this, because there is so much loopholes and speculation for what could be considered foul play. So next of all, we're going to be talking about wars. Wars are actually going to be monitored by Scopely. Scopely are going to be looking at wars and thinking, is there any foul play here? But to my here's where I find it crazy. Right, if they're going to monitor it, so let's say they're monitoring the top 15 factions, why not just say unlimited coins go, and we'll monitor the wars. Like you're clearly feeding in this one. Like why has that gone up to 200k? But instead they put this stupid one coin rule where monitoring is essentially there's no need to monitor. It's stupid. And also Rocket Abraham. I swear we were all all promised a Rocket Abraham to help with towers. Now why haven't we heard of this Rocket Abraham? Are you going to release Abraham a day or two before a walk and say, yeah, here's the price tag. If you want a good tower taker, grab him now. Or did you completely lie about having an alternative for this mythic only war? Because we were, and I'm fairly sure it was in a video. I think as Invisor said, we were getting a Rocket Abraham to help out with towers, but we haven't got one. So we're gonna have to see what happens with that one. We'll leave it on the back burner. Also, a problem with this one tower, no, this one repair thing is getting towers is insanely important and could essentially decide the battle from the start because that 25%, 20% extra bonus attack, you can run through those defenses even faster. And with that one coin rule, I mean, by the time you get a chance to take the tower back, you're going to be dead once, maybe even dead once and a half. So you've basically decided the winner just by getting those towers at the start. Now, yes, it can be, the battlefield can be swapped by grabbing the towers back, but that is an insanely beneficial advantage to have. So we're going to have to see how that affects War Champions because I don't think Scopely has figured that one out. Or if they have, they're thinking, that's how takers win. We'll have to see. Maybe some people will think of some crazy strategies to get around this. That's what they want, right? So we'll have a little look. We'll see how that benefits World Champions. Also, the rewards. They're awful. Poo poo. So I think top first place gets 10 pulls on the gold wheel. To anyone in the top faction, that's 10 gold bits. They're probably not going to need anything in there, and it's just, poo poo. Also, you get the top 3 avatars for first, second, and third, which is cool. And your first edition Romanov is basically your tank from other war champions, which I think, I'd rather just have everyone have a tank instead of that poo poo Romanov, which is very poo poo as a reward. So, also, not going 30-minute wars is just so painfully boring. 30-minute wars where it goes up to the very last minute to decide who wins. It's the best wars. It's the most engaging. It's the most damn that is absolutely amazing. GG. But now you're barely going to go 30 minutes of this stupid one coin rule. I think it's absolutely atrocious behavior. Also, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be very brief with how I say this as well. It's open for speculation on how you want to interpret this. But people have been, whatever, have been saying war is won by coining. There is no strategic play in war. It's just who can coin the most. They coined for their win. This is so wrong. Like 9 times out of 10, coins. It's not won because they coined endlessly. It's never won by that. It's won by strategic coining. Coining, everyone's dead, but when a tower reopens, everyone coin, grab that tower, let's go. Or, it's the last 5 minutes of war. It's like 5k in it. They got 10 targets up. You've got 2 targets up. So keeping 2 people down is better. No, keeping 2 people up is better than having the 8 people up. So by coining, you've screwed yourself because you gave them more targets. Also, there's strategic coining to stall people out, but yeah, I get it. You don't want stalling, but more than likely, coining is done strategically. There's very few situations where just coining endlessly gets you the win. It's all about strategic coining, and most top factions can vouch for that. Also, I think this is the whole coining situation is because one certain faction is very upset from last World Champions, and everyone just memes it because it kind of is funny. I think Scopely is getting too much influence from certain people. So, for example, like I said, coining is one. The faction who coins the most wins. I think that Scopely takes too much influence from that, and also a certain faction. I think they have too much influence on Scopely, and dictates how certain things run just to cater to that certain faction. So yeah. Also, I there was some chat about stalling jokingly. certain factions in certain line chats, and I think Scopely has received those chats and actually taken action on it. Although clearly most people just taken, joking about it. I think hence where that comes into influence here. Also, are they going to fix the avatar bug? Because that was driving me absolutely bananas last war. Because it's not fun. Like I see a Pamela lead, I'm like, all right, I'll take in my anti-Pam team. Oh no, it's Ezekiel. I see, a Barker. I'll take my anti-Barker team. Oh no, it's an Ezekiel. It's like, it's just painfully annoying. Or wow, it's a 5-star Rocket Abe. What team am I going to take in? Let's go in with a general team. Oh well, wrong team. I lose. It's just very annoying, and yeah, it's not fun at all. It's just horrible. Um, so yeah, and I think Scopely is just changing the format because people are just barking loudly, not taking on consideration that most of the community think war is fine as it is, but just to cater to these few small people that keep barking the loudest, they're changing it. And overall, I hope Scopely does take in community feedback because at the moment nobody is liking it. There's very few people that enjoy it, so majority vote says they dislike it, and it's not even like close. It's a lot of people are disliking this right now. Um, so I do hope Scopely is more transparent and they'll say, yeah, we acknowledge this, we're going to adjust it, and then we're going to come back with another format, and then we'll get feedback on it again, and then we'll see how we can make it so both parties are happy. Because at the moment, it's just, I think only one party is happy about this, and it does seem like it is catered towards helping certain people. So, with that being said, this is my little rant, little rate, whatever, over. Like, comment, subscribe, Discord link in the description. Do you think this change was needed? Do you think it's not needed? Do you like the changes? Do you not like the changes? Please do leave a comment and share this video around. It's good to have everyone's opinion voiced, and the more people voice their concerns and whatnot, the more likely things are to change. So, with that being said, hope you all have a good day, and let's see what happens for Walk Weekend.